We're live. No. Have you ever you watch Joe Rogan sometimes?
Yeah.
You know, I forgot what episode it was, but they're like, hey, can we cut it and start over again? He's like, we're live. And he said some other words. Man, so great hanging out with you guys. I always love spending time with you guys. You guys are such quality, amazing people. I'm so proud to call you guys my friends, and you know, I've seen Lucas grow up over the years, and you know, nothing surprises me with him, and then getting to know you, Andresa. It's been, you know, a pleasure. Congratulations on all your success, and I'm excited for all the success to come in the future. Lucas, I introduced you as one of the best lightweights in the world. You know, future, if you to get the gold, whatever. You to me, you're one of the best and top. Nobody, since you're a blue belt, I had never saw anybody pass your guard. You know, and Andresa, you know, like the current black belt world champion, the last 2 years, two world championships. So
actually
three, no, no,
yeah, 2019 and then 2021 and 2022.
Oh my god,
And one no gi.
And then Aldo.
Oh my god. So you're gonna the Hall of Fame, huh?
That's the goal.
Oh my god,
Yeah, that's
Andresa.
the
Oh
goal.
my god. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well
These guys
deserved.
work too because he teaches me everything he knows. So I did not do by myself. Professor Dracht also like put his mind into us, you know. He helped us like we are his own, you know. So I don't feel like this is my accomplishment. It's ours.
Like Lucas's mind and the way his discipline.
Yes,
And
the
you
way
got-
that he pushes me hard that I
You're
cry
like, I don't know,
sometimes.
you guys fight. I don't, but then afterwards you're happy. You did the
He
work.
makes me train 10 p.m. in a Friday night, right?
You guys are drilling the wrestling last night, huh?
Yes. Actually, he was drilling. I was like, I don't want to do
were
this
crying.
anymore. I already trained the whole day feeling sick. I was like, okay, now
Yeah,
it's
food
your turn.
poisoning. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Nice. How does it feel being in the U.S.?
Man, great.
Did you ever you imagine yourself when you were younger, coming to U.S. huh, and living here in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, it was always my brother's dream. You know, he always wanted to move to US, and I never really thought about moving here. You know, but more like I knew I would come to fight and compete and everything, but I never really thought about moving. You know, and then suddenly everything happened so fast, and it was great. It was amazing. I'm so happy it happened.
Nice. And Andresa, you have to tell me your origin story. So, you know, Lucas, you come from Jacolino, like the lineage, you know, from, from, there's some before, you know, since from Urapuru and all the
Serginho.
Yeah, Serginho and all the guys, you know. You were how old were you when you started training at the gym in Belo Horizonte?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. But you were telling me your mom would worry about you hanging out with, because everybody was older than you.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the people that were
Yeah.
older than you. All the guys that were much older than you.
Yeah,
And
I
you were a
started,
teenager.
I went from the kids class with Professor Mauro. I changed to adults class when I was 12. You know, so I was like the only kid in the middle of all the adults, and you know, at that time there was any separation of like level or anything. So it was like that's where all the black belts train and everything. So it was like jungle.
Was your uncle? Did he go with you usually? Shout out to the Daniel Karate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would be training, but he would basically, in a positive way, almost like ignore me, you know, because he didn't want to like sugarcoat me anyway, you know. So he basically he let me there, you know, to learn by myself. I mean, he always would help me with techniques and everything, but he wouldn't be like taking care of me in a way that would soften me up, you know.
Let you find your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I can go back to you on that. So tell me, how did you you were sharing with me a little bit of your story when you're a teenager and how you got into jiu-jitsu. How did you find jiu-jitsu?
And get to the point where I imported you.
Right?
Yeah,
I
because
remember that one because the last time you guys, that was it 2017.
Yeah.
When you first, you told me about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then fast forward, and here we are.
Yes, here we are, almost 6 years later.
You should know.
Yeah.
I don't.
So I started when I was 14 years old in a city called Campo Mourão. You know that is not a big city. It's a small city. He always make fun of my
It's a people
city.
with like 2 inhabitants, Andresa and like her mom. That's it.
No,
There's no one else.
No, there's like 300,000 people that lives there. So it's not a big city, but it is like everybody knows each other. So I started there like when I was 14 years old because I used to dance on the gym. And I always saw people in the gi, but it was always men's in the gi. I never saw a woman's in the gi. And I wanted to get in more like to learn how to defend myself. So I started doing Chinese box. But it was like...
In the same place?
In the same place, because they have that class. And I didn't know anything about gi and nothing. I just like... That's so weird. People like rolling and like sweating on top of each other. I didn't know, like, I didn't have any interest on it. And when I started doing the Chinese box, I was really aggressive already. And the women didn't want to spar with me because I was already aggressive. So that kind of pissed me off because I wanted to like work out hard. And it was really like repetitive. It was always the same thing. And like, it was kind of easy, you know.
You weren't challenged enough.
I was not challenged enough, exactly. So one friend of mine that used to do the class dancing with me, she asked me, oh, let's try the jiu-jitsu thing. You know, let's do it together. You know, we're going to be partners because we are young and there was only men on the mat. So it was kind of weird, the environment. But as soon as we started, I felt like, I love this. Why? Because it's challenging. I couldn't do a hip escape. I couldn't do an arm bar. I took so long to learn those basic movements that I wanted to learn this. I felt like this is challenging. This is the real deal, you know? So we started together. I started because of her. And after a while, she stopped and I was the only girl on the mat. And for a long time, I was the only one. And then my professor's daughter, she started because of me. And like a lot of girls started because of us as well. So start growing the jiu-jitsu, like women's jiu-jitsu community on my city. But it's still like it was few days only. So it was like 3 days a week only, the classes. So
all of the jiu-jitsu classes.
The jiu-jitsu class, it was like 3 days a week. And I wanted to start competing. And that's we were talking about. That really changed my life because I was a really rebel kid that my mom had a lot of trouble with me. And jiu-jitsu gave me a lot of discipline because my professor on that time, he wanted to see my grades on school. He wanted to see how I was behaving at home. So he was taking care, like he saw me as somebody that he wanted me to be a good person, you know. He wanted to my family to trust on them, you know, the work that we're doing on me. And that helped me become a lot more present with my family and also discipline on school because I wanted to go to school like I would spend my time in school studying because whenever I get home, I want to go to the gym already to train. So that I felt like I could enjoy better my time. I was having zero times. You know, that kids get in TikTok and Instagram and distracted at all times. So I was getting focused on what I need to do to be able to perform.
Was there social media already at that time?
There was not much social media, but it was a lot of like 15 parties.
Okay.
You know?
And
Orkut.
Orkut. Yeah.
Orkut,
Which
yes.
is like, it was big.
Yeah,
you know?
the Orkut, it was
was
big.
big.
Yeah.
So, in the
It's like the MySpace, but it was
Yeah.
big, is
the
bigger.
MySpace, and that age already, they start drinking, they start like going to the wrong way. So I felt like jiu-jitsu brought me to the right way, you know. Even like some parents of my friends told them like, I don't want you to walk in Andresa. Andresa is too rebel, you know. And after I started going with sports, they want their kids to going back to me, to follow me, you know, because I was not a good example when I was like 14, but at 15 I was. So after that, like that time, it made like me understand how important it is the discipline that the sport give you, you know, and that made my mom realize how like this changed my life, and she really motivated me to keep going, you know. And after that, like I moved to a bigger city to train more. Actually, I passed to a university only because I wanted to train more in the other city.
At a higher level.
A higher level. And it didn't work out, the university, but the jiu-jitsu did. So I kept training I train in Campo Mourão, I train in Maringá, all in Paraná, in Brazil. And then I moved to São Paulo to only train. And then I kept there until I was like purple belt. And then it didn't work out. I came back to my mom's house. She was living in Curitiba. Curitiba is on Paraná as well. And I found a place there that where I got my black belt from Sebastian Lally. And then before I got my black belt was a
Then I
brown.
imported her.
Yeah, I met Lucas as a purple belt, and we started like really dating when I was brown belt. And as a brown belt, I came here to train. That's
Did
when
you guys met in Brazil?
No,
No.
we met here in California.
Yes.
Yeah.
At one of the big tournaments?
Yeah, one of the tournaments. And after that tournament, I was a brown belt. I came here to your school, that when Lucas was teaching the whole week. And after we went to Texas. And I was supposed to stay 2 months in Texas to like stay with Lucas training.
At first, I was supposed to stay 2 weeks. Then I convinced you to stay 2 months.
And then I stay 6. And then I came back to Brazil on to get my stuff and come back.
And now you're a 3-time black belt world champion.
Yes. Under Professor Draculino and Lucas, that I feel like that once I got my black belt, I really started learning the real jiu-jitsu, you know. Before, I was a really good competitor because I had all those professors in different cities, but my game was really like to win. You know, I had like a really good game to make the point and win the fight when I was purple and brown belt. And when I got my black belt, I wanted to learn all the basics, all the defense, like we are doing now, getting out of our comfort zone, you know, always trying to learn new things and adapt. So this made me realize how raw I was, you know, like as a black belt, I just got my black belt and didn't feel like a black belt, you know, in the beginning. So I started going in the fundamentals classes. On the classes, I wanted to learn the real jiu-jitsu because I wanted to be an example on the mat, you know. I wanted
complete game.
a complete game. I wanted to get respect from the people and understand the jiu-jitsu that I was taught and be able to teach, you know. So I felt like when I got my black belt that I really started learning jiu-jitsu, you know, like self-defense style and etc.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, one of the best for me, the best teacher, Draculino in the world.
sure,
You know, the most champions. I mean,
Not only on the mat, he's an amazing life coach as well, you know, because he teaches life skills, not only jiu-jitsu, you know. Because jiu-jitsu,
100%.
anybody can teach you life skills, like
puts you in your place when what needs to be done.
all the time.
Tells you how.
Yes. On the beginning, he was more like, if I did something wrong, he would blame Lucas, And then a little bit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he feels really comfortable blaming me too. Here, I think he already made me feel like a daughter.
Do you remember your first tournament, Lucas?
My first tournament?
Yeah.
Yes, I actually do. Was the Minas Gerais State Championship.
Mineiro
Yeah.
tournament, yeah.
I was really skinny, right? And then there was only a kid that was ultra heavy, right? And then they put me against that kid, you know, and very opposite to the game that people know of me, you know, mostly at least. I did a double leg. I passed the guard, and I went for a katagatame.
It was illegal on the.
No, it was legal.
It was legal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now it's illegal for kids.
For kids, yeah. At the time, it was legal. And then I did a katagatame, you know. And I remember even I was on the other kid's right side. I lock it up on the left, then I jump to the other side, and all that. And my uncle was actually coaching me, you know, and he just. I had the katagatame, but the kid wasn't tapping, you know? And then and then my uncle noticed that I had my hip high. And then he told me to glue my, well, at the time, you know, like things were a little more open to talk, right? So he just yelled for me to put my, how do I say it, my junk on the mat. You know, and that it would work out. And the moment that I did, the kid tapped, you know, and that was it. That was the first tournament.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. You were what belt?
The one I was white.
White belt?
Yeah.
You were a kid, though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you competed a lot when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, I was always pretty much in the Minas Gerais tournaments?
Mineiro and out of state too, you know, the small towns in Minas. There was a lot of tournaments, you know, for kids, but they were not very well organized.
The Minas Gerais ones are the most organized ones?
Yes, for sure. You know,
Nice.
and it was the state one, so it was always good. It was always the one that had more people from the gym, so it was always a good.
And Mauro was class, huh? Mauro, he was the teacher.
Yeah,
It was nice to see him. Last month? He was on the mat with us.
Mauro, he was the leader of the kids program at the time, you know, and so he taught us a lot of the basics of jiu-jitsu, you know, and a lot of the samurai code as well. You know, he's until nowadays he's really big on Bushido, you know. And my first contact with the Book of Five Rings and Bushido was actually through Mauro when I was a kid, because I saw him. He was reading this book, and it was the Book of Five Rings, and I asked him what it was, and then he briefly explained to me, you know, and that thing got into my mind, but it wasn't until like years later that I actually got it for me to read, you know, and it had a huge impact on me.
How old are you when you read the book?
I think I was probably 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Serious kid, huh? Serious
Yeah.
12-year-old. That's pretty cool. Nice.
Yeah, I think being around so many.
Like Felipe Pena was in that class, but that was before your time, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So Maurão was my teacher, was Felipe's teacher, was Igor's Draxon teacher.
Right.
You know, so who else? Man, several people that I forgot the name right now,
Gabriel.
but yeah. So like
Gabriel Argus.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like a lot of great athletes, great fighters, you know, great people as well. So Maurão was really good on putting this on putting those principles in us.
Amazing.
That's what we try to do to our kids as
Yeah.
well, you know. Like I learned so much with you on nowadays that like even like when he's teaching the kids class, he's actually teaching me as well, you know. So some stuff that he learned when he was a kid, and of course we exchange a lot of our experiences, you know, because he had a really different experience than me. Like he grew up on the same gym, and had the same teacher for his whole life.
Same place, same mat.
Same place, same mats, and same peoples. And I didn't. I moved all those cities. But the good thing it was that I kept those doors open. You know, every time I moved, I kept that place open for me if I need to come back. You know, they understand my reasons. You know, so for example, when I changed to Gracie Barra because of Lucas, we got married. You know, I was training Gracie Barra already in a year, and I didn't had changed the teams yet. So there was like, what am I doing? You know, I'm training here for a year already and representing another team. You know, I think it's time to change because this is my home now, you know? So now there's been like 6 years that I have been inside Gracie Barra.
You said you never burnt your bridges with any of the gyms that you went to. You always,
I kept like contact with the professors that I had, you know. I really appreciate all the work they put into me, you know. I always like to talk about them because they are part of my history, you know. I cannot delete my history.
Yeah.
And you feel like all those people that pass through a lot of gyms, they are called creontes, right?
Like traders.
Traders, exactly. Because they probably close those doors, you know, shut up those doors and forget about those people.
Don't honor their teachers that taught them.
You gotta honor your teacher. Like it doesn't matter if it was a month, it was a year, 2 years, 5 years. That person gave you a perspective. They put time on you. You know, you gotta appreciate it. You know, every single time that I go back, for example, to Curitiba, I visit my professor. I didn't came back to my home state, my born.
Your hometown where you were
My
born?
hometown where I was born. After I came to United States yet because I didn't have the opportunity. But I always keep in touch with my professor. I like to talk about him too, you know, because he was a really important figure when I needed the most because my parents had like divorced and I was a really rebel kid and he really took care of me, you know. He was a really father figure when I needed the most, you know.
Yeah, but I think also your situation was slightly different, right, than what is known as creonte, because you, for example, whenever we got married, you had to move to United States, you know, and your former team wasn't there wasn't any gym close by, you know, so I think when creonte is usually for selfish reasons, right? For example, you train at one gym and then next day you are in the gym in the corner. You know, I think that's where creonte like means the most. You know, when you're thinking about like, oh, who can give you more? You know, it's not a situation like, oh, your parents move. Let's suppose you're a kid and you train in a gym, and your parents move to another city, and then you change gyms. You know, are you gonna call that kid a creonte? Definitely not. You know, so I think it's
you gotta understand
yes,
people's reasons.
Exactly. You have to be. Why I'm huge on loyalty and everything. You know, I believe that that goes into perspective. You know, into like having not having an open mind, but understand the reasons. You know, and that was something always hard for me to have like a kind of positive perspective about it, you know, because like Andresa mentioned, I always been with the same team, with the same professor my whole life, and that's how I always will do, you know. So I always was very critical of anybody who changed teams for whatever reason, you know. But then even Drake told me that I needed to not be open-minded in a matter of like just accept everything, you know, but understand people's reasons, you know. And I believe some reasons are good and others they're not, you know. So I think that's where your situation is different, you know, from what people call creonte.
Yeah, I believe that. Like, I don't feel like I am a creonte because of the connection that I still have with professors.
That's it.
That's there was a time there was a purple belt. I just had moved to Curitiba, that I was spending time in São Paulo. And I went to the Worlds to fight the Worlds. My actually was my first title as a purple belt. And on my first match, I got triangle. And I stood up with the girl and I looked outside. There was 3 different professors that I had on my corner, with a lot of my training partners from those 3 different teams cheering at me, trying to help me. And I saw nobody for my opponent. And that gave me such a good energy. Like, I'm loved. Like, those people care about me, They helped me so much. Every one of them gave me something to be here today. I'm going to do this not only for me, because I want them to be proud of the work that they put into myself. And that day, I overcome and I won that tournament. It was amazing. It was, I think on that time I felt like, okay, I'm gonna do it. That their energy made me do it. We won, and I felt like that was the most amazing, even better than my finals. Like, looking outside, inside that triangle, everybody outside cheering at me. That was priceless.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win.
Yeah,
Not only for me, but for them.
For them, exactly. I felt like that was the best moment, even better than the gold.
So, how did you guys meet? What's the story?
She hit on me.
Oh, stop.
I'm not kidding.
There's two sides. That's why we have both of you. We have both of you here. So.
I have proof of that. So, was it Thursday?
Here we go. The one side.
Was it Thursday?
Well, he knows the day.
Yeah, it was a Thursday. I had just finished the 11 a.m. class at GB, Texas. I was sitting on the couch in front of Draco's office. And then I got on my Instagram, and then I went to check the likes, right? And then I saw this very beautiful girl, like 2 of my pictures. I was like, okay, this is very interesting. Let me look it up. And then I went to her Instagram. I was like, oh, she's cute. And then I followed her.
She does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. And when I look, we've been to several of the same tournaments, but I've never seen her or anything like that. And then I followed her, and
a player, like a player.
Yeah, like a good player. I messaged her. Right off the bat.
You didn't hesitate.
No, I didn't hesitate. That's it. Message her, and sure enough, she messaged back, and I was like, okay, that's it.
So my part of the story now.
I want to see how you deny that you like with the pictures first.
No, it was like this. One friend of mine.
And here we go.
Yes, Tayana. She always seeing me at the gym training all the time, drilling extra hours, coming early, going back late. And on the weekends, she was like, oh, let's go out. You only train. And I was like, of course, I want to be a world champion. I want to train. I want to get better at jiu-jitsu. I want to learn jiu-jitsu. And she was telling me, okay, but you got to live your life too. You were too focused, And she started trying to hit me up with some guys, you got to get at least a boyfriend, Andresa. Okay, I'm in a relationship with jiu-jitsu. This is my boyfriend, I'm training. I don't want any relationship. So she started looking up with people that I would get interested on it. So she went on Flow Grappling and started looking at people's fight to see if I would like them there. And she saw Lucas is fighting on San Antonio Open. And she was like, okay.
As a super heavyweight.
Yeah, this is like Andresa's type, okay, I'm gonna look him up. And she looked him up on his Instagram. And next day we went to drill, and she all the time, you're gonna love this guy, you're gonna love this guy. And I was like, stop, I don't want anybody, you know, I wanna be a champion. I was like, okay, after training, you show me. And then after training, she got my phone, looked at his Instagram. I was like, okay, yes, he's kind of cute. And I saw his smile. I was like, okay, he has a beautiful smile. It's something that really interests me, like the smile. And then I like his picture. And then I saw another picture of him with legs over the head, just seeing like super flexible. I was like, man, he should have an amazing guard. And I like that picture as well. I was like, okay, this is nothing gonna happen. 5 minutes later, my cell phone. Bling, 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 bling.
Clearly, she didn't know me.
Yeah. And then he texted me. And he was pretty aggressive. He was like, oh, my goodness.
Good job, man.
You are so beautiful. We have been to the same places. I'm stalking you here. He was like...
I learned right.
Yeah, really aggressive. Like, okay, look at this. And I show my friend. And she was like, maybe it's going to work. And we started talking for like 6 months. We kept, like, we didn't see each other.
You were in the U.S., you were in
Yes,
Brazil.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, so we FaceTime every day for 6 months until we finally met in the Pan American. I came here to United States to fight, and he came as well to fight.
Then she got pissed at me for whatever reason. Then she didn't talk to me for a few days. And then she messaged me again.
No, you did.
Okay, I did. But then I convinced her to come and stay for a little bit.
Yeah, then like we on this tournament we tried to get together, but I think I was expecting maybe too much because I already liked him. We were talking 6 months every single day, you know. I already liked this guy, and I was like, Tayana, you fucked me up, you know, like. What I'm gonna do now?
There's kids listening to the podcast.
Hanging out with Jacqueline. We were blaming him, right?
Yeah. Let's blame Draculina for the words. Yeah. So and then we, like, after I came back to Brazil and he came back to Texas, we kept talking. And I think he liked me too because he asked me to be in a relationship with him, even though we are in different countries. And I said, okay, I really like you too, but how this is going to work? And then I came, I think 2 months later to fight the Worlds, and he was fighting the Worlds as well. And after I went to Texas to spend those 2 months with him training.
First 2 weeks and then 2 months?
2 weeks and then 2 months and then 6 months. And then just came back to Brazil to get my stuff. And he saved me also from law school.
Law school, wow.
Yeah, because my mom wanted me to do law school when I came back to Curitiba. And she was like, Andresa, you're already living here a few years. You got to start studying. You don't know if the jiu-jitsu is going to work. What are you going to do with your life? Like, okay, mom, fine. I'm going to do the law school that I didn't want to do. And when I started dating Lucas, he suddenly changed my life forever. And I didn't do the law school. Thank you, babe.
Made you believe and put everything else behind it.
Yeah, for sure. He like helped me really like become a professional athlete, you know, that I already lived a professional athlete life before, but now I'm really like a professional athlete, you know, and also like gave me the opportunity to live in one of the best countries in the world, you know. And I'm really glad for it because here we are building our life together, you know. We start like really, really small, and now every single thing that we conquer together is it was such a big thing for us because I remember when we were like 21 years old, just dreaming, you know.
Dreaming,
and now we are living it, you know. That's awesome. That's our history. Okay, I hit you up.
See? I told you. I was just waiting to hear that. Now I can move on.
Made your day, right?
All right, Lucas, what does it mean for you to be a professional athlete?
Everything. You know, it was what I dreamed since I was a kid. You know, and I think that my mom's fear at the time of me hanging out with older guys, you know, that was the people from the gym, is actually what instilled in me the discipline and work ethic, you know, because growing up so close to professional athletes, professional fighters. So the thing was, when I was a little kid, I was obsessed with superheroes. I still am, but yeah, but I loved superheroes, and I would look to the TV, whatever, or the magazine, and I would see a superhero, right? And then I would look to the side, and I would see those professional fighters, and for me, they were very similar. You know, they were ripped, muscular, and very confident and everything. I was like, oh, and I started to assimilate one thing to the other, you know. And I think that's how my dream of becoming a professional fighter came true. You know, I believe that's how the dream was born.
So you know, we talked about nutrition, and so yeah, I know you've been disciplined for, I mean, as long as I've pretty much known you. You've been always like focused on your diet and nutrition. And could you give me a typical day if you're in your life of how you eat?
So basically my diet, and when I say diet, I don't refer to any specific thing. Diet simply the way I eat in a regular basis, right? And I focus on whole foods. You know, basically, I like real food. You know, and besides very few things there are considered processed. You know, like whey protein and kind of stuff. Besides this, besides like specific supplements, you know, I focus almost 100% on whole foods and real food. You know, so I wake up in the morning. I breakfast usually a couple hours before training, so I eat some complex carbs at that point with some high protein. You know, I try to maintain my protein to 20 to 40 grams per each meal. And in the morning as well, I like to eat some form of healthy fat with my meal alongside coffee.
What's an example of the fat? How do you
Avocado.
Okay.
Olive oil.
And then for the carbs, you do like, what do you, oatmeal? What do you?
Could be oatmeal, could be banana, could be, I like Ezekiel bread a lot. You know, berries, you know, I'm a huge fan of berries. And
then
Nut butters.
yeah, nut butters for fat.
everything natural.
Yes.
Like real food.
Yeah, no, real.
And then for the protein?
Protein, I love eggs, you know, and eggs are some of the healthiest food on the planet. And for me, they're so filling and so tasty. I like so much. And I'm a huge fan of yogurt as well. You know, usually cultured. Yeah, cultured yogurt with probiotic, kefir, Bulgarian yogurt. And and coffee, you know, and I always make sure that my coffee is specialty coffee, you know, is toxin free, you know, and organic, because those little things, they might not seem like a big deal, you know, but having like even these lightly amounts of mold in your coffee, you know, can mess up your cognitive function and kind of stuff. So I always try to drink the highest quality coffee possible.
What are some of your favorite coffees?
Man, Ethiopian is my favorite.
Ethiopian?
Yes.
That's the place where it comes from?
Yes.
Okay, but is there a certain brand that you like?
Oh, a certain brand?
Brands, yeah.
Yes. I really like Spirit Animal.
Spirit Animal? Okay.
Yes. There is, it's a company from Honduras. You know, they source specialty coffee. And I really like Ozo Coffee. It's a coffee company from Colorado where they source beans from all over the world, but always sustainable, always organic, always fair trade. And I would say those are the biggest ones for me. You know, that I can think on top of my head now.
So that's your breakfast. Do you do fast? Do you do intermittent fasting or anything like that?
No. And the reason that I don't do it, it's because research has shown that it's not a very wise idea for athletes who train multiple times a day. You know, because of hypoglycemia, when energy levels dropping. And the truth is, if you're training multiple times a day, you need to maintain a constant line of energy throughout the day. So to maintain performance, I cannot allow that energy to drop.
Do you guys? I'm assuming you guys stay on this pretty much the same thing on how you eat and everything.
For sure, I am the cooker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys feel the same. You guys are in the same routine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you feel
Yeah.
We varies on some supplements, some nutrients that she needs more, that I need more, but
Mostly
also
the same.
yeah,
but
also quantity.
the
as
quantity
well,
different.
and sometimes you go by taste. For example, if let's suppose tonight I'm feeling like eating fish, and she feels like eating
red
beef.
meat.
Yeah. Then we change, but I would say it's almost exactly the same.
Yeah, only the quantity is different.
Do you you being a female, like more protein, or is there what are the differences, or just the taste? What are the differences?
I think it's more like the quantity.
Like how much you eat?
Yeah, how much
calories.
you eat, the calories.
And she eats more fat.
Yeah,
more
and
fat.
I eat more fat
Yes.
than him. Yeah, and
Because women are usually more fat adapted, so
yeah,
she
only,
deals well with fat.
yeah, only a week.
You feel better. Your
right.
mind works better. Your body works better.
Yes, and I feel like if I eat a lot of carbohydrates, I get low. And I feel
Groggy.
like my glycogen drops, and I feel really low energy if I eat a lot of carbs. But if I eat the fat, I feel full, and I can eat more calories, which I need because we train so much, and we think that we eat a lot, but actually professional athletes, they are deficit in calories most of the time. And so Lucas always it's giving me more, the biggest piece of the avocado, for an example, or he puts more butter on my oatmeal. He always put more fats for me because he knows that I'm not gonna eat a lot of carbs. So he knows that I need those calories, so I gotta eat more fat, because the fat, a little thing of fat, there's so many calories that I, especially being a professional athlete and a woman, I need the most.
So you take care of her. Put
Yeah.
some extra butter
For
and
sure.
avocado.
Yes.
Yeah, he always making me eat
to.
more.
I have to force her to eat more calories. Otherwise, she will undereat for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but completing the answer. So that's what our breakfast usually looks like. And right before training, we really like to take super coffee. That is it's a coffee that just arrived here in it's a supplement actually that just arrived here in the United States.
The name
And
here in
it's-
the United States is different, right? The name.
Yes, it's Caffeine Army
Caffeine Army.
Smart Energy Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Brazil it's called Super Energy, but here it's called Smart Energy Coffee by Caffeine Army, and it's a very
Is that Felipe Pena? Is he sponsored by that?
Yes.
Yes.
company? Okay, so I
Yes.
saw him do a little coffee thing. Is that okay?
Yeah, so it's a supplement that mix up coffee with several superfoods, and micronutrients that help with focus, with energy. And I usually take it like 30 minutes before training. It's something that maintain my energy levels very stable. That it doesn't crash. And we usually do 5 to 7 meals a day. And that way we can maintain our calories where they need to be. We maintain our energy levels very consistent. And besides that, most of our meals, they consist of some type of, besides the post-training meals, but most of the regular meals they contain some type of carbohydrate, protein, fat, vegetables, and greens.
So, like for example, you went to Whole Foods, I think today, and you're like, I load up on my vegetables. And make
Yes.
sure I get a rainbow of different colors in my vegetables, for example. Is that so? Can you give me specifics on, like, for example, like a typical lunch?
Oh, honestly,
general.
when I go to something like that, like Whole Foods, anything that is a real food, I eat it. You know, I don't have this thing like, for example, oh, I don't like this fruit or I don't like that fruit. I honestly haven't tried any fruit that I didn't like. I haven't tried any greens that I didn't like. I haven't tried any legume that I didn't like. You know, so
There was a book called The Zone Diet back when I lived in Brazil in the 90s. And I remember telling Alexandre, like I talked to him about it. You know, it's like 40% carbs, 30% protein, 30% fat. You know, and that still to this day, you know, that's kind of what I eyeball. You know, like more or less that. You know,
Yeah.
and my blood sugar, everything stays good, and I had like glycemic index on the different types of foods. You know, depending on the food you eat, your blood sugar kind of spikes. So, but as long as I stay within that 40, 30, 30, I'm pretty good, you know, even to this day, you know, like.
It's a pretty easy rule to follow.
yeah, I think it's a pretty good guiding point, you know, but especially for athletes, I believe that, you know, you have to take like a personalized approach.
Right,
you
right.
know,
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
You know, but it's definitely like I think it's a great guiding point.
Good
you know,
guiding point, yeah.
especially for health in general. You know, because the truth is, being a professional athlete, as you know, is a lot of times is the furthest thing you can be actually from being healthy. You know, so I think it's very important to.
Like we were talking earlier, like how like an Olympic athlete or a top athlete, they'll give up 5 years of their life to be in first place, right?
Yes.
And so they do stuff that's maybe not good for their health.
Exactly. You know, when we, I think the best thing is, yes, we know there are disadvantages of it. You know, of being a professional athlete, of like pushing your limit, going beyond your limit every single day. But we try to be as healthy as possible while you're doing that. You know, and for that, it takes hard work. You know, it takes small work to be able to measure everything. I don't mean like grams quantity, you know, but like to know what to do, you know, and not simply go with the flow of things, like you used to be done back in the day. You know, like you train hard and whatever you do outside of the gym, that doesn't matter.
Right. That's, you know, it's one of the things that I think that I always noticed about you is you're always very disciplined in everything that you did, from your nutrition to, you know, your training, how you trained, your routine of your training. And I think that, you know, from a young age, that really, I feel like set you apart in my
Actually,
eyes.
sometimes I have to hold him up because he wants to do more than we are, like our schedule, it's made up. He always wants to do more. And I'm like, hey, Lucas, you gotta rest. You know, you gotta balance it up, you know?
Part of the getting stronger is resting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Scott Sana says you get stronger in the recovery.
Yes. No, that's for
And
sure.
some days I'm like, hey, you are getting out of the curve. It's not gonna be good if you keep getting out of the curve, you know?
The truth is, and it's clear, you know, that everybody who spent half a day with me knows this. You know, I'm obsessed. You know, I'm obsessed about my craft, that is jiu-jitsu, and everything I do in my life is towards it. Is towards improving it, and it's something that brings me so much joy by doing it. You know, by understanding it, and so a lot of times I have to be careful not to compromise my relationship, you know, with my family, you know, when other areas of my life, you know, and that's something that drag helps me a lot with. You know, sometimes he almost expelled me from the gym, you know, but
Get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Stop training. No, you're not gonna do one more. You're not gonna do one
Yeah.
more.
You're done.
Go rest.
I think it's a science, you know, when
And he has to talk to him that way for him to listen,
Yes,
right?
yes. And
He
he
knows
was-
how to talk to you.
Yeah, and then Lucas like,
Oh, he
no,
knows.
Draco, but I'm good. I can do one more. I don't care. Get out of here.
Yeah, you know, it's like for me, it's a science. You know, I love to study mechanics, the concepts behind it, and you could say that I'm a crazy scientist. You know, if you consider it a science, you know, so it definitely help us so much, you know, to have this holistic approach. And I believe that came a lot from, like I said, living with professional fighters from a young age and seeing them doing diet, you know, and training hard and seeing them like giving it all on the mat. And you seeing that as a kid, you know, it has an impact on you. You know, it has an impact. And this is something that that I learned from them. You know, either you give it all or you don't give it all.
Something I noticed today on the mats, you know, that I didn't notice yesterday, but there's a little patch on both your belts, Faixa de Gaza.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? What that means?
So that's Gracie Barra Belo Horizonte, you know, and Faixa de Gaza is the Gaza line. You know, it's Master Renzo Gracie and Grandmaster Carlinhos Gracie, they were the ones that used it to call Gracie Barra BH.
Belo Horizonte.
Yeah, Belo Horizonte. That is my my home gym where I trained since I was a kid. And they call this because it's literally like a war zone. You know, I've never seen anything like that. You know, so many black belts, everybody amazing, you know, like super tough. You get like you know, like the training there is insane. You know, it's just this, you know, and Grandmaster Carlinhos know this, Master Hans Grace know this, so they used to call their Faixa de Gaza because of that, you know, and we represent wherever we go.
Yeah.
We
And Andresa is adopted daughter of Faixa de Gaza.
Yes, I'm adopted. Seriously, they adopted me.
I saw the patch and I was like, oh, that's all right.
There
cool.
we go. Even though I didn't train as much as Lucas did his whole life in BH, I have been there a few times only, like when I've been in Brazil. But Texas, it is Faixa de Gaza in Texas, you know, because Professor Drac used the same approach that he used in BH that made all those successful fighters. He's making the same approach in Texas. So every time the BH guys come from Texas and they train with me, they're like, you were just like the Faixa de Gaza guys, you know, like you train hard, you're really tough. So they adopted me. So every time they like take pictures of the Faixa de Gaza before like 4 years ago, they're like, Andresa, come in, you were Faixa de Gaza too, you know? So they adopted me. And I feel really honored. Seriously, I feel honored to be adopted by Faixa de Gaza.
Drac has this gift, and he was able to build something that is like so incredible, you know? Like his intensity, you know, his intelligence, everything.
Dedication.
Yeah, his dedication. You know, he was able to bring those people together and make them great in jiu-jitsu. You know, great human beings, and create that culture. You know, and that's why like we have this mission to represent. You know, because you could say that you know, I was born in there in jiu-jitsu at least, right? And so all the lower belts coming up now, and I wanted to motivate them like the black belts motivated me at the time, you know. And I want to instill them the principles that I learned that made me be so dedicated, to have a work ethic, you know, and
pass to our students, you
Yeah.
know, like we already have a Faixa de Gaza in Texas, but you're going to see when you go there.
So
So
Gaza,
tough.
the Gaza Strip, because it's like
Yes.
tough to
Like
The
a
Gaza
war.
Strip.
like
Yes.
a war, yeah.
Yeah, you see
In
those
Israel, like
nice
the
people
underwar.
like, smiling when they shake hands, poker face, war.
You know, the first time I went to Belo Horizonte, you know, like I went to Rio first. I was telling you guys, and I went to Gracie Barra in Rio, and it was all, you know, full of black belts, the who's who, you know, all the big
Yeah.
names, you know. And then I met Draculino, and I went to Belo Horizonte, and it was all white belts and like one blue belt maybe, you know. But I just felt the energy and the environment, and I was like, and how Draculino is, of course, you know. And I was like, man, I'm gonna move here. And yeah, I guess I chose right, you know, because it didn't make sense, you know, at the time, because, you know, you wanted to be maybe at the headquarters or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know, at the Belo Horizonte, she ended up being like one of the best schools in the world.
You feel the energy, you know, like his energy and the way. I mean, he's a
everybody was like, you know, there were, you know, it was a newer school, right? And but the culture, the environment was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Everybody trained hard, but they was really cool too, you know. Like they, you know, get your ass kicked, but then they show you like, you know, hey, let me help you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, the best
Yeah,
way.
no,
They beat you up and they did teach you what they did
Yeah.
for you to do on others.
Yeah.
That's the way that we do with our students. We beat them up and then we teach them how to beat other people up.
Yeah, it's a culture, you know, a legacy.
Yeah, legacy. We are passing what they teach us, we are teaching others. We cannot keep something to yourself. We feel like we have a mission of helping others as well. At the same time, a lot of people helped us, so we have this mission of helping others too. That's why we always like receiving people to open our home to people that sometimes we even don't know, to spend time with us just because we want to help them.
Yeah.
You know, we don't gain anything doing that. Actually, it's more work for us. But I feel joyful seeing their progress, seeing how we can change people's life by helping them with their nutrition, helping them achieving their goals in jiu-jitsu. You know, when they spend time with us in our place, they get six-pack, they get stronger, they get smarter, healthier. And this is like, okay, our job is like, we're doing good for people. We are helping them. And that's it. I think God's giving us back, you know.
Yes,
at the same time, the people helped us. We have to pass that to other people. We cannot like be selfish and just like say thank you, you know. No, we want to give also, you know.
One of the things we were talking about it today, but just one of the things I watch, and I'm watching you guys, and you know, you guys, you know, it was 1 hour class, right? But you guys were there for, I mean, I think like 2 hours or maybe more, you know. But you guys walked around the whole time. You guys were like, gave everything. You know, somebody asked you spend the time with them. You know, you connect with everybody, and you're professional, like real professionals. And you know, you guys are at the top of your game, but you're like humble, like, you know, like professionals. You know, you like the things you're saying, but you do it. You know, you know, I know where it comes from. You want to talk a little bit about it, like what it means to, like you just said, like the teaching and, you know, giving back and all that. But you know, why is it important for somebody to, you know, why is it important for a teacher to give their best, give their all on the mat?
One thing that when people ask me, you know, like like what's my purpose, you know, or about my obsession and kind of stuff, and I have two main reasons for that. You know, I believe that my purpose is to develop the gifts that God blessed me with, you know, and help people with it, you know. So either to motivate them, you know, to show them the power of God, being faithful, you know, and also to represent the legacy that I come from. So those two are the main reasons, you know. So basically is I want to honor God with by developing the gift that He gave me. You know, that's the reason why I'm so obsessed about training and improving, you know. And so by doing that, you know, I feel that I had people who were God's tools in my life to achieve that, you know. And one of them is definitely Drac. You know, Drac for me, honestly, I could go as far as comparing him to coach like John Wooden, Vince Lombard, you know. and who are like legendary coaches. And for me, he's on that level. You know, so I learn every day with him. You know, and the way he positioned himself, his ability to work this regardless of how he feels, and his discipline, commitment, passion. You know, it's if you're living with it every day and you're not learning it, you know, you're just dumb. You know, there is no other way around
You know, it's he's inspirational. Like,
yes,
you know, like you know, he does do the same thing that he's always done after all these years, right?
Yeah.
And like, he doesn't have to, but he does it anyway. He gives his all. And you know, back in the day, back in the, you know, the 90s, like the Fight Club days, you know, only, you know, there was no girls. There was zero girls, you know. But he was always professional. He would show up on time. He would wear clean gi.
Yeah.
You know, and
so
you
basically,
know, early he would start in the morning.
And always teach his best class.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if he was sick or not, you know,
No, it
like
didn't
you
matter.
you asking us about how do you feel about like behaving professionally while you teach is
Why it's important.
yeah, but it's the only way that we learn how to do. You know, I didn't learn any other way, so I don't know how to do different. You know, that's how
You don't know
he
how to
taught
do it.
me.
That's it. That's all you've ever known.
That's
how to
how
do it.
my
example.
my other professors from Grace Barra BH taught me
Yeah.
as well. You know, my professor Sergio, Caloquinha, Mauro. So you know,
That's the way
that's
it
the
is.
only way for me. Yes.
Yeah, I had really good examples as well with my other professors, but I feel like living so close to Drac, it's you see him like everybody see him like as a legendary coach, but we that live every day with him, we see him as a real person as well. We see him like everybody gives their problem to him, and he's a problem solver. He's an entrepreneur, you know.
Entrepreneur, yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. So he has his business. He helps people. He teaches kids class. You know, he always with high energy, even though sometimes people suck his energy, you know. But he always like good posture.
When he
He
you would never
steps
know.
on the mat, he said, "I forget all my problems, and now I'm gonna teach my best class today." And every single day is the same. So this is like inspirational for us. Sometimes we're like kind of not in a good day, but we want to step in the mat and like be like Drac, you know, be that. Oh, okay. Now people are looking like to me to like they're here because they have their problems as well, but they come here as like to relax, to let it go, you know. So I'm gonna let that aside, give my best here, and after I'll solve it.
Part
you
of
know?
being professional, I think, and that's what made him made the difference for him with a lot of other schools, even back in the 90s. You know, and that's why he created so many champions because of his example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never tell us anything that he wouldn't do it. You know, he always tell us, okay, do this, this, and that. And he would do like the same. He would never tell us to do anything that he wouldn't do it. And this is like really important to us, you know, because I want to be like him one day, you know, like at least like 5% of what he is. Because he's such an amazing guy, but he's also a true guy, you know.
He's real, yeah.
He's real.
He'll tell you how he feels.
He tell you, you know,
And he's honest.
He's honest. He won't lie to your face. He can't do that.
Yeah.
It's
Don't get me wrong. He can be a pain in the butt too, but just kidding. Drac, don't kill me.
But
he's probably right.
yeah. But it's amazing how he can put sometimes people's lives before his own.
Yeah.
This is like so awesome. Like such a great guy, such an amazing person. Like he has everything, but he still wanna give it back. He wanna give it all. He doesn't hold anything to himself. He wants to. If he sees something wrong with you, he will correct you right away to help you get better right away. I think he's like a life mentor.
Yeah.
You know?
When I was asking the question, you know, I guess for me, what I think about, like, why is it important to be professional? Why is it important to, you know, to do your best, to give your best in each class? Because it could be that person's last class, right? And how many people have asked you, like, hey, you know, I've thought about doing this for, you know, I wish I would have started this earlier, like, you know, when I was this age, when I was that age, but here you are, right? And if we don't do a good job or do our best, maybe that could be the you know, the reason why they don't, you know, they don't continue, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Yeah, I think that goes back to what I said about like honoring God's through your work, you know, and everything that you do something. And obviously, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, that there will be days that you'll not be on your best, but you have to do your best with what you got on that day, right? And every time that you don't give your best, and one more time, your best according to the circumstance that you're dealing with, you know, you are, you know, you're like, you're not being grateful, you know, for your life, for the gifts that you have, for your life in general, you know, just for being alive.
yeah. There's a fight poster when you walk downstairs. My dad signed for me. You know, he passed away this last year, but he's like, he says, to be able to do what you love to do is a gift from God. Serve Him well.
Yeah.
And I look at it every so often when I walk down, and I'm like, you know, like, yeah, it's to be able to do what you love to do is a gift from God. Serve Him well.
That's amazing. I really
The
like
fact that
this.
we're able to do what we love to do, and that we won't do our best,
It's such a waste
man.
if you don't do your best. And being a professional athlete, it's not only like on the mats. You gotta be professional outside too, you know? I don't think those black belts that are really tough on the mat and outside do all those wrong stuff, like cheat, and there's so many like don't eat well or don't take care of her recovery. They're not really professional, you know? Our life being professional athletes is also like getting to filter things that we want in our life, you know? Like we want to read books that encourage us. We want to spend our time outside the mats to increase our performance inside the mats. So that means taking care of a good nutrition, sleeping well, taking care of our sleep, recover,
Being devoted to the process.
understanding how the mind works, you know, because mind is really
Mindset,
important, the mindset. Also giving back to people what they give to us. And I feel like more that we give, more that we help, more success comes to us, you know? So I feel like we're doing the right thing, you know? Every single day, I want to be a better professional athlete, but also a better wife, a better daughter, a better child of God, you know? I want to serve God with the talent that He gave us, but not only on the mat, helping people to get fit or to learn jiu-jitsu, but also outside. If you see, like, I'm going to share this, like, we are in Colorado in this past year on the Christmas, and Lucas couldn't see, like, for instance, he would see like someone in the street asking for food. He would not even talk to me. He would get into a place, buy food, and just go out and give to the person, you know. And he was like, I felt like I need it, you know, and I don't want to like be recognized by this. I just want to like, no, I don't want to like see that person hungry, you know. I don't know how he feels because I always had food in my plate. So I don't know how it's to feel hungry.
Yeah,
So
we're always making sure that if I give food to someone,
it's high quality
it's
food.
organic, high quality.
They got
full
Even
organic
though it's a
food.
homeless person.
Yeah. If he doesn't
Even
like,
though it's almost
if he doesn't like, that's his problem. But he can be homeless, but it might be he has to be a healthy homeless.
He won't give fast food for the
No,
homeless
heck
people.
no. I won't even touch fast food.
But this is like, I'm like, okay, nobody's watching. That's great. but God it is, you know? Those stuff I think counts so much. You know, if you are in the mats and telling people to do something and like, oh, I'm a champion because I did this move and etc. You are not really an inspirational person, you know? You gotta be a good person outside of the mats, outside of your gi or your no-gi clothes, you know? You gotta like respect people. I don't like also those trash talks they do on the internet. I'm never gonna be a person like this. I respect my opponents because they make me better. They make me work my best.
They bring the best out of you.
Yes, they make me work so much because I know if I don't outwork them, they're gonna beat me.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna feel that. I wanna fight the best with my best. And if I don't give that every single day as a habit, it's not gonna happen. So we create those healthy habits. Even though like we even follow like an app that we do like checklists of this stuff, like success checklist of did I eat my veggies today? Yes. Did I slept like 8 hours? Yes. Oh, did I don't know, stretch today? No. You gotta mark the red. That red, it makes like it's hard to mark the red. So it make you check, you know, the stuff that you're doing to get better. And you see your progress every day, you know? So this is something that we like to do to keep our progress in check. You know, did I read the Bible today? Did I meditate today? So those, did I read today? So all those stuff that help us inside and outside the mats, we want to do it and create that as a habit, not only as it's a part of us, you know, something that we do unconsciously, you know, something that I wake up already getting my book to see a good word instead of getting my phone and look all the joyful people's on Instagram because their life is perfect on the social media, you know. So we like also like to go to the gym without even touching our phones. After we sweat, we can like see what's going on in the world, you know.
Yeah, I text you guys and
Yeah.
I don't get responses. It's like me too though sometimes.
If you text-
Because I
if
have
you-
to put my phone away or else like
If you
forget
text us
it.
on Instagram,
Shout out here to all my friends. Guys,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I love you.
If you
but
text us on the Instagram 1 week before a big tournament, we're not gonna answer.
Yeah, we
We
delete
could
it.
delete. We don't want to get distracted, you know. So we try to focus on the things that can help our mindset grow, and also do the stuff that help us. Like we grow as a professional athletes, and we don't tell people to do it, but we don't do it. So if someone asks us, what you were doing to get better and etc., they only see the part that we are winning on the mat. They don't see the struggles that we do every day. They don't see us drilling 10 p.m. in a Friday night. You see, so or even like getting a big bowl of salad. Lucas thinks I'm a cow. He puts so much salad for me every single day. Sometimes I don't think I'm gonna eat the rest because I can't eat enough salad. So I really like to make juice. I put everything in the NutriBullet. I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know? So they don't see this. They only see us on the top of the podium, you know?
Oh, I
but
think
there's a
that's-
process to get there.
And that's another thing that we learned from Draco, you know, like you mentioned. And when people come and stay with us at our place, they have basically a complete change in the lifestyle in regards to training, because they will force them to, in a positive way, but we force them to work mindset too, you know, to work harder than ever did, but also work smarter than ever did. And
Be disciplined.
only eat
We don't let
the
them
things
jump
that
training.
will fuel them, that will make them that will improve their performance, and that can be really annoying. You know, sometimes even Andrea said that I'm going too hard on them and everything, but the thing is, and one more time, this is something that that's an example that Drac said for us too, is that I would never ask them to do something that I wouldn't do, you know, or that I'm not doing. You know, so I would never ask them to drill, to do a training at 1 a.m. if I'm not doing there. If I'm not doing with them.
Yeah, sometimes Lucas tell me, okay, so today we're gonna do 500 double leg shots, and I'm like, no, we won't. And he's like, yes, we are. And he leads by example. He's counting here, and I'm like, okay, are you in the 100 already? I'm like in the 50s. I'm never gonna get like to 500. It's like, keep going, keep going, and you get closer, and you keep going, and you see him going to. So I'm like, okay, he's doing it. Let me do it too. And sometimes he will do that only to motivate me, and he don't need to. Like if I have a super fight or something and he don't have it, he would do it me just to lead by example. This is like such a gift for me to have
Leadership,
Lucas
yeah.
as like accountability partner, you know, to see him every day and like have this discipline obsessed person on my side every single day that makes me outwork everybody. That's why we get the good results.
You starting out is hard, and then you're like 100. Oh man, when am I ever gonna get to 500? But when you're done with the 500, how do you feel?
Great. You're like double legging everybody with your eyes closed. So it's you see the progress so quick, you know, because you
Show up, you do the work.
you are really putting your mind into it. You're like you are doing something out of your limit. You think you cannot, but once you do it, you feel like I'm so small. I can do so much more that I don't even know. We don't know our limit. And sometimes it's dangerous too because we overtrain. So we got to keep the balance, the curve, right? So that's why the trainers are so important to us.
To keep you in check. And
To
Yes.
keep
get
us
out
in
of the
check.
gym.
Like Drac does with Lucas, get out of the gym. Or
Do
Donnie,
you guys use any metric like Aura rings or anything
Yes,
like that
Whoop.
for sleep?
we got to whoop.
Whoop. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, to keep
really
like
help
the
us.
sleep check, the heart rate, how the like the intensity of the training. It's really important and help us like to see how our date's gonna go. Sometimes we have something scheduled, but if we didn't have a good night of sleep, we're gonna have to adapt a little bit. And that's how important is the trainers as well. You gotta follow your training. If your trainer told you not to do it, you not gonna do it. If he told you to do it more, you're gonna do it more.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to do what has to be done. You know, so if we have a training schedule, we do the training regardless of anything. You know, and we'll obviously ask our trainers, and they one more time, we cannot be too black and white. We're gonna do the training regardless of anything, but depending on the situation, we're gonna adapt. You know, either go harder or go a little lighter or do something a little more technical, less physical, whatever that is. You know, but I believe that if you're not accountable to yourself, you know, if you don't do what you tell yourself what you're gonna do, how can people trust you? You cannot even trust yourself. You know, so that's a big thing for us. You know, something that some people thought that I was very cold or very heartless because of this, but who really knows me know that's actually a way of honoring the people I love, you know. And that thing is, a few months ago, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, you know, and I knew he was doing the treatment, you know, and I had the plans of going to Brazil, you know, to see him. He was doing really well, but then a day he got an infection, you know, that he only has less than 10% of chance of survival from the bacteria. And my aunt, who she's a doctor, she called me, and I was about to go teach and train, and she called me saying that I would have to go to Brazil immediately. You know, that the doctors thought my dad would maybe not even make through the night. And so my brother and I, we bought the first flight, you know, and the flight was at 4 a.m. And in the meantime, my mom called me, and she's my mother. She's my godmother actually. And then she told me, and she's also my boss. And then she told me to not go to the gym, to pack my stuff and everything. So I knew I would have time to pack my stuff, and there was nothing that I could do to help my dad at that point. He was sedated. I couldn't talk to him. My mom was there in the hospital with him. There was nobody. There was nothing for me to do, and worrying wouldn't help anything. So what I did was I pray a lot. I lay in the hand of God, and then I went to the gym, and I taught the class, and I taught my I did my training. I actually trained more than I had planned, and because I had that training schedule, and one thing that I knew that at that point my dad, he was sedated, he was unconscious, but I know that one of the things that he's the most proud of me is my work ethic. So if he knew that I didn't go train because of whatever situation was happening to him, that would make him upset, not me going to train. So at first, some people close to me was like, man, how could you do that? Like, how did you have had to do that? Well, I didn't. I forced myself to do it. It was like a mental challenge, because I know that me overcoming that challenge, that would make my dad proud.
Honoring.
Exactly. And sure enough, as soon as he woke up, thank God he beat cancer. He survived. He's a warrior. He's really well now, and getting healthier every day. When I told him this, and he was like, "Are you insane? I'm so glad you went to train. If you didn't, I would be so mad." And
You said you mentioned all the guys growing up watching everybody being disciplined and the training routine and all that. Where do you think that your discipline comes from? Because you're an obsessed guy. You're fora do curva, for how would you see that in English? Out of the
above the line.
Yeah. Of
I never saw anybody
discipline.
like him, like discipline like this. I never saw. And then I'm not telling
at
you
a,
this
from a
because
young age too.
Yeah,
from a young age
yeah.
that
Lucas never tried alcohol. Never try it, like put in his mouth. I tried alcohol and was like 12 years old.
It's
My
hard
mom
to
gave it
say.
to me.
I don't have like a clear answer to give you. I was like, I can tell
What do
you,
you think?
it
What do you
was
think?
exactly because of this. But I think it was a very luck set of circumstances. My parents, they always held me tight, but not so tight, that things would, like Drac said, would go through the fingers.
you can't say that story.
Yeah. So Drac always mentions as to me.
We're talking about teenagers, right?
Yes,
Like controlling them too much.
Yeah, either kids, which I don't have, but coaching athletes, which I do. You can never hold them too tight, or like put too much pressure on them. Otherwise, it's like trying to hold sand. If you hold with some pressure, you're able to maintain your hand. But if you squeeze it too tight, it's going to start to come out of your fingers. So you need to apply pressure, but not so much that things start to go south. And I think my parents, they were able to apply the perfect pressure with me in regards to being a good kid, never try alcohol, never try any drugs. And that's alongside my uncle's influence. One of the things that I think my earliest memory of like being interested in diet and being interested in a health lifestyle is that my uncle would get to me after the famous midday training at a GBBA.
Yeah.
I used to be at his
Ninjutsu in Brazil.
Exactly. So I used it to be at his home there with my grandma.
Yeah.
And then he would get from training all sweaty, And I remember I would kiss him, and I was like, oh, that's salty, because of the sweat and everything. And then he would come to me, Lou, that's how he calls me. He was come to my room here. I have a gift for you. And then I would go there, and then he would give me like some fresh fruit. Usually used to be like plums or or peach or something like that. And I didn't know better as a kid. So for me, it was like, okay, so my uncle is so excited about this, so this must be something awesome, you know? And then my love for fruits and natural food started, you know, that's my earliest memory. And then living with, hanging out so much with those professional fighters and seeing them going through weight cuts, you know, and working out and running and all of that. I think that combination is what instilled that discipline in me.
How old were you at the time when your uncle brought the fruit back? How old were you at the time?
Oh man, I was probably like 5.
5 years old.
Yeah.
There we go. There it is, right?
That's great, right?
Yeah.
You are assimilating fruit as a gift.
Yeah, it was never hard for me. You know, people don't be like, hey, don't you miss this? I was like, I don't really miss what I never tried, you know?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
for example, I haven't ate something like this in like 15 years. So I don't remember the taste at all. So I don't miss it at all. You know, and if it's something that it's bad for me, I'm not even gonna try it. For what? For me to miss it or whatever?
Yeah. I know it's getting late. So and speaking of like healthy lifestyle, I want to give you guys some sleep. It's been 12:30 in the night. By the way, we had a long day, right, of teaching, training. But you know, Draculino fought MMA. A bunch of the guys from our lineage, you know, he fought MMA. Have you ever thought about fighting MMA?
Yes, I plan on it.
Okay.
I don't think I wanna. I don't think I wanna try a career on it. You know, at least it's not in my mind for now. You know, but I definitely want to do some fights. I want to be out there. You know, I want to go through the process of for training for it. You know, being there. You know, having my hand raised and having the experience it too.
Yeah. What about you, Andresa? Not about MMA. Let me ask you why not MMA?
I don't want to.
Yeah.
My nose is too pretty. No, I'm kidding. No, I simply don't like. No, that I don't like. I appreciate the sport. I think it's an awesome sport, but I feel like I'm more about the gentle art. You know, I really want to learn like wrestling. I want to learn judo to help my jiu-jitsu to grow. I actually want to learn also box. I want to learn Muay Thai as well. But
As a martial artist.
as a martial artist, you know, to understand like martial arts. But I want to actually not be an MMA fighter. I want to be a mom in the future.
That's I was gonna
Yeah,
go into.
so-
Like your goals and
Yeah, my goal in the future is to be a mom and also like keep teaching and also getting better every day and start business, you know. I think I let Lucas to the MMA stuff. I will be there.
it's part
Proud
of
of him.
It's part of the. I'm not gonna ask somebody to do something I've never done before, and also part of the journey. I think I never thought I was gonna fight MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too,
maybe
even in some
I can
articles,
change.
and then I got my black belt. Well, no, I don't know if I'm being like girls. I don't want my daughters. I don't want my daughter to fight MMA. I don't know.
Yeah,
like to get it if she chooses to. They're cool, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I prefer. I don't know. If
Yeah,
it's,
I think it's
because it's a different
has to-
world, you know. It's I prefer like you know.
You gotta have a lot of eager to put yourself in that spot, you know, like it's really aggressive, you know. I don't feel like jiu-jitsu is a
It's really the gentle art.
It's just a
You can
gentle
give
art.
the person an option.
The only thing that you're gonna have it is maybe it's gonna be like cauliflower ear, you know, like a brown eye or something, few bruises, like strong body. But I feel like MMA is like it's not my word. I like to watch. I really see like the technique. I really like to see.
You like to watch the fights.
I really like to watch, but
There's a good event tonight, right?
Yeah.
there was.
I love the beauty of being able to, like, the challenge of being able to connect martial arts.
Yeah.
You know, something that, for me, GSP was amazing at. You know, being able to connect each part of the game together, you know. And I really appreciate that, you know. But I think that also, back in the day, a lot of people got into MMA because of the money.
there was no option for jiu-jitsu as a
Exactly.
profession.
So nowadays, I think that that's changed, you know. And the reason why I want to do it because I wanted to, you know. It's not because of money or anything like that. You know, is a choice. Back today, a lot of the fighters didn't have a choice, so they got into it for money, and you know that, you know. So I think that a lot of the people who did it, if it was nowadays, I think they wouldn't do it.
Because there's so many opportunities now with
Yeah.
professional
Exactly.
jiu-jitsu events where you can make money.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Gordon Ryan, right? With
Yeah.
all the things he's doing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
But
the
I'm
thing.
in.
That's part of your lineage too, right?
Yeah.
And so
I don't really want him to do it, but if he desires to, what I can do,
yeah,
right? I'm gonna inspire him, and I'm gonna help him to achieve any goal that he wants to.
I'm gonna be hitting pads at 1 a.m.
Yes, and I'm gonna be like that, feeding my kid. God bless. And training jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is my passion. I want to stop. I want to keep training my whole life. And that's something also that we are talking today. How you can train your whole life being like strong and mobile and like having your joints healthy.
I'll tell you something. Try
Being-
Tech Fit.
Yes, that's the goal, right? You were tech fit. It's so important to like keeping your health of your joints, healing injuries, and this is something that we really are into now because I had a really big injury a few years ago, and I recovered only by strengthening it and also releasing it, the muscle. So you strength and then you release, and then you were able to train. So I feel like conditioning training, people they overdo it, or sometimes they underdo it. It's never on the right amount, or they work out too hard and then they're broke up to train jiu-jitsu, or they don't do it and then they are not strong enough to do some movements or prevent injuries. So tech fit, it's like awesome the way that you guys do it. Like today, I felt so much better after we did the class because it was a great workout, and also I felt like my back was better. I was with less pain with my on my quads. You know, I felt release doing an exercise.
doing the workout, yeah.
This
That's
is
it.
like great. Like
That's it.
people don't like to work out sometimes because they feel so much pain after.
You're stretching, you're releasing tension while you're training because you're balancing everything out. If there's
Yeah.
too much tension in
That's
one
why
area,
it's so important to have like a skillful trainer. You know, people think working out is you watch a couple videos of people doing bench press and you sign up at a local gym and you pay the membership and you do your thing. That way you literally gonna break yourself. You know, it's so important to have a trainer who knows what they're doing, who knows about the cycles of intensity, the periodization of your training and all of that, you know. So shout out to our trainer, Danielle. Thank you for
Your uncle,
being
yeah.
the best trainer ever.
Yeah, he for sure helped us out with anything. Like on the quarantine, I had a rib injury that actually was Lucas who injured me. He was stack passing me all the time, and I was his only training partner on the quarantine. So
3 times a day.
Yeah, he was, and of course I didn't want him to pass my guard, so I was resisting a lot, and he was folding me. So, but thank you, by the way, because now
That's my girl. Let
now the
the
girls don't
rib
pass
break,
my guard.
but don't let the guard get past. That's my girl.
Yeah, my rib like dislocated 4 of them, but he didn't pass.
It was 5 ribs 4 times.
Yeah, it was like, and my ribs would pop all the time. So Danielle helped me like we strengthen up, and it was so nice the way that he did it because he told me your ribs are getting out of the place because your core and your lower back are not strong enough to hold it.
Now you're like a little tank.
And now he made me a little tank because he made me work out my lats. He made me work out my scapula, my core, my obliques, and then
Well, can't wait to get these clubbells in your hand, and we're training with
Oh,
the
yeah.
clubbells because that's
that's
Yeah.
gonna
that's
be
what it
even
that's what
better.
it all does. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be even better. And he make me work like on my posture, on all those stuff that I never felt my ribs anymore, and I still can defend stack pass. So that's great.
Yeah.
Chill, club bell time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Power couple. It's an honor to talk with you guys. Thank you guys for making the time. And I look forward to speaking with you guys again, hopefully in the
For
near
sure.
future. Thank you
Thanks
guys
so much, Al.
Thank you.
I
Wow.
appreciate it, brother.
Thank you. Wow.